It's Hockey Prospect Radio, brought to you by ECAC Hockey, the leaders in hockey on and off the ice. Learn more at ecachockey.com. Happy to bring on Ted Donato, head coach for the men's program at Harvard University. Ted, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Shane. I'm excited to be here today.
Well, it's interesting. Your season is right around the corner, and I was thumbing through your roster, and as I always do, and I keep track of what's going on in college hockey, get down to see you guys on the East Coast on a regular basis. And what struck me right off the hop was your defense core and how prolific that group is, and how many of them are obviously drafted by NHL teams, but the variety of skill set. And is that potentially the strength of your team this year, is being able to rely upon so many strong defensemen? And boy, they're gonna have to fight for ice time this year because it's a loaded group.
Yeah, I think it certainly has the potential to be the strength. We thought last year we only had one positional player that was a senior, and we really thought that our defense core was going to be the strength of our team. As it turned out, we just had too many injuries back there. Some of our best players, Ian Moore and Jack Barr, the two senior defensemen now, what were juniors, along with Kyle LeCoin, all missed, substantial amount of time. And so, we were already pretty thin lineup wise, and that just, it really kind of threw us for a loop. And, we quite often didn't have even enough defensemen to have a real competitive practice. So we kind of have we strengthened numbers now, but we also have all those guys back healthy. And I think the D core really has a chance to be the real strength of the team.
One of the things that perhaps some of our listeners who haven't had a chance to see live ECAC hockey may not realize is how gritty that conference is. Like it sometimes, although I see a lot of ECAC hockey, sometimes I go back and I'm a little surprised again. It's like you almost transplanted the Western Hockey League into college hockey there. Talk a little bit about the necessity for your players to recognize that competitively in their mind, like mentally and emotionally, it's a grind for them, because academically it's exceptionally difficult at Harvard, but then all of a sudden on the weekends, you're playing against some older, heavier, stronger, more pro-style teams than perhaps they were used to, whether they were in, junior A or the USHL or high school.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, we have, six teams in the league, all the Ivy League teams that, in some ways play by a little bit different set of rules. There's really no fifth-year transfers, with the COVID over the last few years, although thankfully that's coming to an end this year. And, we start a couple of weeks later, so that's not as big a, deal. But certainly the age of kids, it's quite often, we're playing against much older, bigger, stronger teams. So, we're not a team that's really a big transfer portal team. So we really get quality players and really work on the development side of it. And really it's been a lot of fun watching guys really grow up in front of us. We have some real talented guys, but they are younger and need to develop both on and off the ice in order for us to have the kind of success that we like to have.
Do you find that's actually, for you personally, rewarding to be able to have players for 3 and 4 years where there is this ebb and flow of the development, so you get to watch them, grow as players on and off the ice? And from a coaching standpoint, is that part of the selling feature for Harvard University? Yes, of course, there's the academic prowess and the fact that you're going to have a degree from Harvard University, but then there's the hockey aspect of it. Do you find that as a coach, at the end of the year going, boy, that was fun with the guys, and I can't wait to see what they turn into next year?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a healthy environment when when guys, when it's a meritocracy and guys have to earn their, their playing time, and nobody graduates to more playing time, but that development path when we see guys mature both on and off the ice, it really is something we take great pride in, and it makes it a lot of fun to see a guy, kind of grow up right in front of your eyes and see his game mature, but also see him off the ice, with all the things that they juggle, both academically and socially and athletically, see them become men. And that's a lot of fun. And quite frankly, that's why you coach. And for me, I'm blessed to deal with some of the finest young student athletes in the country. So it's a special kind of kid that we get here, and it's really enjoyable.
Well, you have 8 first-year players on the roster, and I can imagine the challenge for them of, they're walking onto Harvard campus, which could be for anybody a bit intimidating, a bit of a big cold bucket of water splash. You like, oh, I realize now where I am, and they're having to manage coursework and classes, and then practice, and then get ready and start to learn games. How much does your coaching staff get together with the first years and go, here are some models and here are some strategies to help guide you through, particularly the first 4 months of what's going to be, maybe one of the 4 months most challenging time of your life?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we want to let them know that, hey, we want you to have success, academically as well. We're hockey coaches, but this is the type of experience that we're excited about, is that you grow, both on and off the ice. And I do think that the first 6 weeks, I'm sure some of these guys feel like they're drinking out of the fire hose, trying to juggle everything. Thankfully, our season doesn't start right away when they get back to school, so they have some time to make the adjustment, kind of integrate socially, kind of get a good handle on, the new academic load that they have. And, thankfully we do have some, quite a bit of time to practice, over the first few months. And that's really to me, one of the, key ingredients to being in college, with most of the games on the weekend, is you have, a lot more time to develop, to coach, to teach, to get in the weight room and get stronger. So I think that our guys really understand, that we're really trying to do a lot of things really well. And thankfully, some of the older guys in our team are great role models always, to being there and advocating for these guys to to kind of do things the right way.
Just quick question before we have to let you go. Does it help you of being a former Harvard alumni when you're talking about those issues about balancing life and school and hockey, not just being a former player, but actually you've been in their shoes?
I think it helps immeasurably. And one of the things is, I know the experience. I was that that freshman that, wondered if he had gotten in over his head, in this, place called Harvard, that was, just had such an aura about it. And, I think that is helpful. I think quite frankly, the quality of people that I was able to go to school with and be friends with, and still very close friends today with, gives me a great perspective. Obviously, I've had 2 sons that have played at hockey at Harvard, attended Harvard, graduated Harvard. So that gives me a little bit of the view of being a parent and what's that like through that whole process. But I have to say, like, this is a place I really believe in, and I see the transformation, that opportunity that Harvard offers. And to me, Harvard is certainly about the time you spend here, those 4 years, but it's really about the 44 years after, where you have such a great network and a great, you know, platform to really, do some really neat things. And that's something that we take great pride in. We think we're probably a little bit different in that regard. And it's something that's, for me, gives me great pleasure to see these guys go on to have success, whether that's measured in, the business world or, or in the athletic world. But it's great to see them go on to do some great things.
Well, Ted, I want to thank you very much for calling the show. Really appreciate it, and good luck in the season.
Well, thanks, Shane. I love the work you're doing, and I love listening to the show, just like love listening to all your other shows. But keep up the great work, and we'll certainly be listening.
Thank you very much, and we're going to take a short break on Hockey Prospect Radio. Stay tuned right after this.